This thing is not showing my cleavage, but there is like a shadow that makes it look like it. I don't want people seeing my awesome ass triple Ds. Welcome everyone, we're the 9 to 5 Misfits. My name is Pavi and this is Nammy. And now we're very excited to announce that we're a continuing member of the Brown Girl family. We actually became contributors a couple of weeks ago. So if you missed our origin story, do check our episodes, a few episodes before this. But thank you again for letting us be a continuing contributor.
Like we said in our past few episodes, we have been around on YouTube for the last 10 months. So, just a disclaimer going forward as well. If you see some of our videos, we jump timelines a bit because we'll include some of our older videos where our hair lengths may change, quality may change, but bear with us because the content is really important for you guys to hear. But for now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
So every once in a while, there's a topic that transcends cultural, political, and all kinds of racial divides and unites the world. And today we're going to be talking about one such topic. Are you ready?
Yes, and when we mean unite, we mean unites in a collective groan. Because yuck, we're talking about budgets.
Best thing ever. It's all about that cash money.
I mean, I feel so uncomfortable even saying the word budget because it's like right up there with Voldemort and CrossFit.
Hey! Language. But yes, as unemployed people or people who are making little to no income, it's important to know what your budget's like. It is soul crushing when you see everything going out and nothing coming into your bank account, and everything going out being your money and your sanity, your dignity, and everything that comes with that, right? But yeah, and most of us don't have sugar daddies and sugar mamas, so we need to tackle these problems head on. That's what we're gonna help you with today.
Yes, and if you're new to our channel, then you haven't missed anything except those last 30 videos or so. So go ahead, subscribe and watch them.
Do it meow.
But if you have been a returning viewer and you've watched us from the beginning, we did talk about budgeting in the very beginning, but this is sort of a rehash of sorts. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we've come in the past 10 months. We're going to talk about not only how to make a budget, but also some cost-cutting techniques as well as how to get some additional income while you're job searching or growing your business.
Okay, so to our stories. I used to be an engineer, most of you know that, and I'm all kinds of Indian, so I was all about them savings. But when that got taken away from me, I kind of felt lost more than I would normally, just because I got so used to seeing savings. And when I was unemployed the first time around, I moved countries with my husband, and I felt super inadequate, mainly because I didn't make any money, but I didn't even budget to know what my means were. Was I living above or below my means? And that was like a rough start, because if I had done that, I would know how to backtrack and work, but I didn't know that, and it made me feel inadequate for maybe no reason at all.
So for me, it was a little different because I started off very much like the black sheep of the community, where I was not an engineer or in some sort of lucrative field. I did hotel management. So my career graph has always been very sort of up and down, up and down. I sort of saved a decent amount while I was at not so lucrative jobs. And so I had all these savings, then I sunk all of it because I went to grad school. So then after that I got, probably one of the best jobs that I had salary wise. So then it went back up, and then I quit my job. So again, it tanked. So it was always like this roller coaster. But even when I quit my job the first time around, I wasn't really budgeting. I was just sad. I didn't want to just face reality, and I didn't want to look at my bank balance at all. And so the reality was that I wasn't actually spending a lot of money, but I was letting my credit card debt accumulate so much that when I would look at it like once every 3 to 6 months, I'd see this mountain and I'd be like, oh my god, what have I done? Whereas if I just looked at it on a monthly basis and just dealt with it, it would have been a lot less intimidating. So yeah, so Pavi, I know you had some budgeting hacks for sure, because you've been a little more organized about how you went about it.
At least this time around, because when I got laid off from my engineering job, I got a severance package, which is really nice, especially if you work more years, you get more money. And then you should also check if you're eligible for unemployment benefits. It's not very much, but it helps you, at least mentally. And that actually helped me with budgeting budgeting this time around because I figured, okay, I didn't do it when I moved countries and that sucked. But this time around, I created a simple, basic Excel spreadsheet where it's what's coming in, what's going out, what are your expenses, what do you splurge on, and what is it that you really need. So kind of just categorize it in that form, and then you'll see like maybe I don't need this gym membership. You'll be more aware. You kind of get an idea of what you need and what you don't need if you actually list it out.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is that you have your fixed costs, your variable costs, and then within your variable costs, of course, you look at the stuff that you can't really cut out, and then you also look at the stuff that's the nice to haves that you could probably cut out if it's not absolutely necessary. And then of course you also want to compare it to your income so that you know that you're not living beyond your means, and if you are, it's definitely time to cut out
shut
some
it
stuff.
down, what she said. Hashtag college. Okay, so two things. How do you cut costs and how do you make additional income, if it's even a possibility? Because you know how I said when I moved to India, I stopped spending on anything. I'd become so frugal. I wouldn't like shop or splurge or do anything fun, which is not necessarily, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. You need to live a little, right? And that's what we're gonna go into. And I know Nammy has some tricks up her sleeve. Well, not today.
So I actually heard this TED talk a while ago. This actually like changed my life, and so I'm gonna put a link to it below. It's by this person called Priya Parker, and she had this brilliant strategy where, especially for anyone who's not making any money or thinking of quitting their jobs, this is a great way to actually figure out how much you're spending and cut back. Okay, so she talks about looking at your bank statement, looking at the costs. Now withdraw 50%, only 50% of that in cash, and try to get by for an entire month using only 50% and using only that cash. Now I know it's harder to use cash when you're paying your rent and stuff like that, which is already going through your bank, but maybe for your variable cost you can definitely do that. So I started doing that a lot with my groceries, eating out, gas, all that stuff. Right? Try to get by only on 50%, only using cash, because then you're more cognizant of how much you're depleting as the time goes by, and then you also know how much you have left. So if you have like $10 left and you have 1 week left, you're like, oh crap, I better be frugal with how I spend this $10.
McDonald's away.
I know. Or eating at home. As you become more proficient at this, start cutting back even more. So do 40%, 30%, just to challenge yourself and see just how much you can get by on. And really having that physical cash is so powerful because you really see how much you're spending.
But some people might just ask if there's no paper trail like you do get in credit cards with money. But like Nammy said, guys, it's better to know where you're spending your money up front versus afterwards, because then you're like all the regrets.
I know, especially I was like that ostrich with my head in the sand where I just didn't want to look at my credit card statement. So then chances are like 6 months will go by before you really know how you spent that money.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, this is something we all can experiment with, and we'd love to hear from you if this method actually works for you. And there's also additional websites, apps like Groupon, Retail Me Not. There's so many apps with discount codes to help you save money. But yeah, we'll post all the links below.
So the next part is, which may seem slightly harder, which is how to actually make additional income. But Pavi, I know you're a pro at this now, girl.
Get it, girl.
What's your secret?
I'm the king of shared economies. I know millennials get such a bad rap for being lazy, but I believe we're very scrappy.
I know.
Because think about it, I don't want to take this as my career path, but I still figured out ways to make money, and that's what's important, to make sure that my immediate future is not stressful. I like Airbnb our house. I dog vacay on a regular basis because I love dogs. And you can Uber or Lyft, do certain things just to get by so you don't worry about the future. It's been great.
For shows. And if you missed it, we have an entire episode just on shared economies and the gig economy where you can figure out how to do all of this internet stuff. The other thing you can do is, if you don't have the luxury of having a house or being able to sit dogs, you can still capitalize on skills that you actually have. So either through Fiverr, TaskRabbit, any of those, or if you want to do freelance gigs. I know when I was trying to learn social media, I just, because I was taking these courses, but I needed to practice that. So I just asked people that I knew that had businesses that, hey, can I just do social media for you, either for free to build up my resume, or just to for a measly amount just to get by each week. And then also, I'm a Bollywood dancer. I've been a dancer for a long time. And so I started teaching classes because not only was I getting a regular workout now, so there goes that gym membership, but I was also getting paid to actually utilize my skills.
So sometimes your fear, like your ego, might get in the way of doing certain new things. But if you let go of those fears and ego, you might actually be happier with the results. And that's what happened for me. I was like a little concerned about, oh, should I Airbnb my house and dog vacay, the dog's gonna be messed up. But at the same time, I let go and I tried to look at the bigger picture, and it really helped me because right now it's been a year since I've been unemployed, and I worked with my budgeting and made sure that I paid myself. I did the internship in the middle. I've been doing shared economy, and I actually have the same amount in my bank account today.
Nice!
Yeah. So
awesome.
It's just because you can live, you can do well. It's just you need to be so aware. There's ways you can make it happen. So don't like let it crush you.
Yeah, and I mean, you touched on something which was, you know, of course it's important to cut costs where it's unnecessary, but then also don't cut out everything. I mean, there are times when it's necessary to invest in stuff that will have future returns. So like, we've taken courses, we've invested in like, say, this camera equipment or YouTube.
She noticed how much nicer we look right
yes,
now.
I know. A little example, I recently went to South by Southwest in Austin. I didn't buy a pass because it's like $1,000 to $2,000, but I got resourceful and I just found free events or events where I could just like crash the party, as they say, and just like chatted with people and networked. And same goes for if you're doing Uber. I know so many people who drive Uber just to make contacts. Because if you're a startup owner or something, you can find angel investors just driving an Uber. So yeah, just think about how you can get resourceful.
Because then you'd just be gainfully employed again. By meeting these people, right?
Yeah, just put yourself out there. So there you have it, guys. I hope that we made budgeting and this whole like money stuff a little
super sexy.
I know, soups. A little less scary and uncomfortable and more approachable.
Do connect with us on social media. We're now part of the BizLatte family, so check us out on bizlatte.com. And don't forget to hit subscribe. We'll see you next week. Yay. Bye.